morning. Welcome to another Sunday morning sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and this morning I have been on a stay-at-home vacation for a week, whereupon I have played many video games and watched many cartoons and worked on my art and such. But I decided to retackle Total Drama Island, and today I am doing one of my favorite villains. I I love Chef Hatchet, and so this morning I'm gonna sketch me some Chef Hatchet. I actually think that at least the first season, the other seasons were good too, but the first season was particularly good. Total Drama Island, I think maybe a lot of people skip over it. Probably because it's like super immature and blah blah blah. It is filthy. It is farty, pukey, cheap. Wonderful, in that way. But the thing that I like about it, and Chef Hatchet is kind of one of those characters, is it embraces stereotypes just like you wouldn't believe, and does a really marvelous job. Honestly, just making it funny. You know, like just old style, stupid, smack people around kind of humor. And it's just funny. It's just nothing necessarily super brilliant. I mean, outside of they keep sort of a ridiculous premise of a reality TV show gone really, truly wrong. And oh my god, so funny. So just stupid 5-year-old, your inner 5-year-old just having a great old time kind of stupid, wonderful humor. I mean, we're talking about a show who, you know, the fat guy can't stop eating and is always farting. I mean, it's just not brilliant in that way, / it's brilliant in that way. It's just oh my god, so freaking hilarious. And anybody out there who's doing the whole, that's immature. You know, they judge things on how mature things are. Don't watch it. If you're one of those people, you're not going to get it. You're not going to find it funny. I personally think that there's a certain beauty, comedic beauty, in a well-timed fart joke. But it has to be a well-timed fart joke. And admittedly, not every fart joke on there was well-timed. But as a show that has embraced the fart joke and the puke joke, and the censored genital flash, and every other marvelously immature thing that they do. It really is probably one of the best. And what makes it fun is it's a legitimate product of Canada. Which, I'll be honest with you, I'm wanting to see more of... And I know that the group made other shows, 16 and blah blah blah. I thought they were okay, but at least the first season of Total Drama Island, amazing. The other seasons are actually very funny too. Zoom in there for a second while I kind of work out the shape of his head. I'm not going to do a perfect reproduction. I'm going to see what I can do here to get me a Chef Hatchet. Okay. Okay, and anyone who knows Chef Hatchet knows he has no hair, clearly. And I'm putting in a hairline. Why am I doing this? It helps me block out the shape of the head. And it's not like this needs to be perfectly three-dimensional. Clearly, it does not need to be perfectly three-dimensional. However, it does personally help me place stuff. Oh, thank God for coffee this morning. I had a very entertaining week this week. We started it with some of our friends coming over and watched The Blood of Heroes, which anyone whom has not seen The Blood of Heroes and likes apocalyptic movies, I highly suggest The Blood of Heroes. I actually think it's a serious competitor for Mad Max, but there was only one movie, and to be fair, for an apocalypse movie, it actually had a fairly kind of positive ending to it, though still remaining an apocalypse movie. Then we watched the new Avengers Infinity Wars, and that was had a wonderful date with my lovely wife. And we did it on like those motion rocket chairs in the theaters. That was freaking wonderful. Then watched a whole bunch of Total Drama Island. We finally got to watch Cars 3. That was fun. I enjoyed that. And game-wise, which I don't get to play as many games as I would like to, because unfortunately I'm a little busy these days, but I cherish them when I get to them. That's why I buy a really good game and I save it for a while. And I finally had a big opening, and finally got to sit down, and over the course of about 2.5 days, got to play Uncharted 4. Oh, so good. And I'm not like I'm trying to do the whole, it's the big thing, everyone else likes playing it, I'm not going to play it. It's just that I don't believe that everybody chasing after something is something that I'm going to be interested in. The Uncharted series, on the other hand, I completely agree with everybody else. It is so good. I have, on vacations, I have a tendency of picking a game up, and it usually ends up being Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog has really never failed me. I haven't played necessarily their earlier games, but I played all the Uncharteds. I love the Uncharteds. The Last of Us, wow. Actually, one of the greatest gaming experiences. In my opinion, it outdoes Uncharted. I think Uncharted was more fun, but The Last of Us was just story-wise. It was like watching a 19-hour movie, and they got closer to that in the third and fourth Uncharted game. But Last of Us has been amazing. I can't wait for the next one. What's really nice is I have a PS4, and I don't do a ton of gaming. Usually a little bit of World of Tanks from time to time, but I have it for, clearly to watch the movies on Blu-ray, blah, blah, blah. But when I get on vacation, that's why I just slob for days, and it's so good. It's like I'm 14 again, which is so awesome, because 14, I'm 41. So it's like I've inverted the numbers on my age. And oh my God, so good. It's the game system. that I dreamt about when I was 14. So good. And I don't need as many games as I used to. I go off of I'd rather have quality over quantity, and man, I gotta admit, Naughty Dog is very much taking care of me on that. I think they've outdone Blizzard. I think they've outdone Valve, and both of those are quality studios. But man, Naughty Dog, holy cow, great freaking games. I might even do some Naughty Dog stuff on here. I typically go for more cartoon characters, and the Naughty Dog stuff is obviously more like realistic. And I can do realistic. I just don't have a tendency of enjoying it as much on a sketch level. To me, cartoons are more fun on a sketch level, personally, because I like playing with lines. And not to say that you don't do that with realistic stuff. As much as there's more, each individual line on a cartoon character is very important on a cartoon character. So I kind of get to really just play with line. With realistic, it's the same way, but somehow it's different. I can't exactly define why. For me, it's just a little different. I just very much enjoy doing non-realistic characters this way. Which is probably why I haven't done any of the Naughty Dog characters. The later ones. The earlier ones were all very cartoony, but like Drake and love Sully, love Drake. Ellie. Oh my god, it was Ellie, right? Last of Us? Anyways, the girl, I think her name was Ellie from The Last of Us. One of my favorite all-time teenage action heroes. That is a badass little girl. Wow, she is seriously an amazing character. And the the old dude in it was good too. I liked him. At the moment I'm not recalling his name. But, oh man, Ellie, freaking amazing. I mean, I think she's 13, 14, maybe 14, and there's a whole storyline where she's fighting cannibal cultists, and it's just amazing. She is so bad and so awesome and such a tough little chick. And yeah, I might do Ellie one of these times. It just, for some reason, the realistic stuff just doesn't quite get me as geeked here, not geeked in the games. I think I wouldn't change a thing about the Naughty Dog games, but something about the way cartoon characters go together on the page here that's just super, super fun for me. Yeah, I kind of totally dig the Canadian team that puts these shows together. They just, I mean, it's super abstracted. I mean, probably one of the most abstracted shows that I watch. I mean, even over like Steven Universe, and just really abstract. But just the humor is right on, and the way, I mean, it's like the cheapest possible humor, but somehow they really, really make it work, and it's just so much fun to watch. I think like yesterday I was doing some of my digital painting, and I have a setup, I'm 41, don't judge me, set on my lazy boy with a big old blanket and one of those lap desks in my Surface, and I just work on my artwork. And I had I think it was like the fourth or fifth season of Total Drama Island just playing nonstop all freaking day. Oh, it was so good. I was laughing and giggling all day. Shockingly, I did not get tired of it at all. Yeah, that eraser's had it. And I just kept going and got into the season where they finally introduced the third cast. And I'm starting to dig the third cast quite a bit. They got rid of the characters early on that I didn't care for, which is clearly, I think, by design. They're like, yeah, these guys are obnoxious. Let's boot them off the show as fast as possible. The thing about Chef is I'm going to try to get this as he has that wonderful straight unibrow. And I'm not going to make it completely straight, but one of the things that makes him look like him is that unibrow and those eyes. So I'm going to see if I can try to make it about right. It's funny, it was years ago, because clearly the Total Drama Island stuff is, well, years old at this point. So years back, I was at home, and I was just, when we still had cable, we do everything streaming now. I was clicking through stuff, and this show showed up, and I'm very honest about this. Shows that have this kind of a look, it's nothing against it, it's just initially I don't groove with that much abstraction. Generally, and some of my favorite shows are actually like that. It's just my initial gut reaction, so I've taught myself to not react that way. So I watched some of it, and I was like, oh, well, let me see what this is. And I caught it later on in the first season where they're really getting, I think it was the eating contest. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's a cute idea. It's making fun of reality shows. I'm like, let me see where they're going to go with this. And one of the first things they made the contestants eat was it Rocky Mountain oysters, which is bull testicles. And I was like, they're not. And they just pull out these gigantic dishes of just undulating, veiny bull testicles. And I'm literally just sitting there staring at the screen going like, I'm like, that is amazing. I'm like, so I kept watching going like, how far else are they going to push this? And then I'm like, this could not have been made in America. We're just big wusses when it comes to things that are actually funny. And so I found out it was Canadian. I'm like, well, of course it's Canadian. The Canadians typically have a better sense of humor than we do. I don't know. I don't even understand why. But they do. I think they've got more is freedom of thought the right word? I'm not sure if that's the right way of putting it, but they're clearly not afraid to legitimately be funny. Legitimately go in and take some risks. Here, I don't know, everything is so freaking controlled. But yeah, I'm like, this is not an American show. This can't be an American show. This is really, really funny. I hate saying that, but it's really true. I'm hoping the streaming stuff that's coming out, where like companies are, not having to go through the networks. Maybe we're going to start getting some shows where they've got some guts and make some really legitimately funny, and that's including cheap and asinine. I mean, I'm not saying highbrow. I'm just saying, and not to say the networks haven't. I mean, let's face it. With Legend of Korra, they went in with some relationships that were not the typical thing you see coming out of American studios, and I thought that was really amazing. I just want to see us keep pushing it. I'm not saying full-blown, most ridiculous, unallowable things on television. I'm just saying that with like Total Drama Island, I was caught off guard a couple times until I got used to the show, and I was like, wow, I never thought I would see an American anime show on American television where a girl gets her top ripped off. It was censored and everything, but it was that kind of clear, wonderfully cheap kind of thing that the Japanese do all the time. And and then it does the side shot to the character that saw the boobies, and it was the character Harold, and all he could just say was, "I saw boobies," and I was just giggling because I'm like, that's so stupid and asinine, but it was really like funny and appropriate for the characters, and you know, I guess it was just nice to see something a little different for once. You know, and you know, and admittedly they keep making farty, poopy, vomitous, cheap, asinine kind of jokes, but it's awfully nice when the only other form of that is stuff like I would call it the 5-year-old smelly fart boy cartoons, where it's just these shows where it's just clearly for 5-year-old boys, and it's about like younger brothers farting at their sisters, and I mean there's just no structure to the story. It's just like he's on a skateboard and you're like, with Total Drama Island, there's sort of a smilthy mentality, a sort of that smart, filthy kind of. And I'm not even saying super smart. I'm just saying at least it's not like a 5-year-old kind of.
Well, that show was meant for teenagers. So.
Well, but yeah, that's what I'm saying, hon. Is it wasn't meant for little kids. Is it was clearly meant for at least teenagers. And at the time, I think I was 35 or whatever, and I was sitting there going, I'm like, thank you. I don't need serious, deep, thought-provoking entertainment all the time. Sometimes I'm tired. And I want to see somebody force a bunch of teenagers to eat bull testicles. Stupid as that is. I'm not saying it's brilliant. I'm just simply saying, though, it's nice to have that option. And I'm glad the Total Drama Island stuff is there, you know, and I love Chef Hatchet. The two villains, it's Chris McLean, which is this real. I mean, he's a psycho. I mean, he's just this horrible douchebag psycho of a villain who's making these poor teenagers do the most awful things for money. And then there's like his gigantic chef sidekick, which is, I can't remember where he found this dude, but is just this giant muscled behemoth of a chef who can't freaking cook. And it is just as sadistic and and awful as the host, and these poor, and most of the kids are awful people themselves, so you don't remotely feel bad, but it's like the show is like, oh yeah, all the people on these reality shows are awful, shallow, creepy people. So let's just make a cartoon filled with that kind of personality and throw a couple decent human beings in there for contrast. You know, and so good. So much fun. Good close look at his facial hair here and lips. Yeah, I could have spaced that out a little better. Oh well. It feels as if that could be smaller. Let's make that smaller. And that meat chin. Big old meat chin.
Looking fun.
What now, Hunt?
It's looking nice.
Yeah, it's not bad. I've been kind of toying with the idea of drawing the Total Drama Island characters a little bit more realistically. Not much, because they really still have to just be in that incredible exaggeration that they put them through. Like, I mean, that is beautiful. I mean, Chef Hatchet's neck is actually bigger than his head, and he's got a big head.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's amazing. And I love the fact that they make the top of his head, even though it's not drawn that way here, completely flat. And then his hat just sits on top of it like a shelf. I mean, it's... He almost feels like a Broforce character. Chef Bro.
Looking at the Steven Seagal's character. And shoot, what was that one movie?
Which one? Well, actually, he basically plays the same dude over and over again.
Yeah. The one where he was a chef on a naval base.
Oh,
on a naval, sorry, not base.
On an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Or a battleship, I don't remember which. I think it was an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, it was an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, he plays the ninja chef, or what, the Italian ninja chef, or something ridiculous like that. Not as ridiculous as this, but still ridiculous. And nobody thought... Under Siege.
Yeah, Under Siege.
Under Siege.
Yeah.
And I kept for years, because I was too young to watch it when it first came out. And everyone kept telling me how good Under Siege was, and finally I got to catch it. I'm like, it's all right. I mean, he was an okay action dude, but he wasn't that great of an action dude, you know? And everyone kept telling me, like, how amazing Under Siege was. And I was finally I got to see it, I'm like, that was it?
I remember watching it and having fun with it, because at the time I was a Baywatch fan, and Erica Liniak, who was the damsel in distress, was actually in the movie.
I mean, she was your classic cute, sexy blonde in an action movie. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I think I was watching it more for the sake of she was there in it. I'm like, oh, face I recognize, and of course recognizing Steven Seagal. But yeah, I thought it was all right. It wasn't. He ain't no Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, no, he wasn't even close. But on the same note, which is actually, I think, interesting, and it's not totally true across the board for everything that he did, but he kind of fulfilled that, don't take this wrong, douchebag American action hero.
I'm not taking it wrong.
But you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
we had a series, and since like the 70s, of some of the heroes were just kind of these unpleasant, and not even necessarily in a good way. Like, I just remember his character just kind of being a slimy jerk slash hero, you know, which I don't fully get why you want a slimy jerk hero, but
He was that he.
except maybe I've known some people who I guess kind of identify with sort of slimy jerky people, so I don't
Well,
know.
his character in that particular one, a lot of people liked because he was, as per American action heroes, he was a stand-in for them. The fact that he was the tough, decorated war hero who could beat up anybody, but decided to retire and just become a cook, but still surrounded by the things that he loves, and then has to be called into action again and becomes the hero. It's like he's basically a stand-in for all of the guys who felt useless, but suddenly they're called in and they're not useless anymore. And not only are they no longer useless,
They're the big
they're
hero
the
that all the women want.
Yeah, and who gets the pretty blonde girl at the end. I
mean,
he
I get
was
it.
a stand-in for the male American, a late 80s, early 90s dream.
I mean, I get it. I just end up often watching these guys going like, yeah, but I'm not like that, I guess, is probably why I don't get it. I mean, nothing against, you know, your normal kind of American dude. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not like, you know, the drive a 4x4 and go watch a baseball game kind of guy. You know, I most certainly haven't been in the military. I can't boast service. You know, I'm just a dude that draws silly stuff. You know, I mean, I'm just you know, kind of a average geek, I guess. And
Well, don't forget, back in that time period, being a geek was not cool.
well, at that time period, very few geeks owned the planet. Now, geeks mostly own the planet. So, imagine that technology meaning something.
Yeah.
I think that turned out pretty good for a kind of a quick one. I always liked this character. He always had that marvelous kind of 70s, early 80s, big, ugly blaxploitation dude kind of thing. Which is, I think, clearly, you know, I mean, the way they did the voice and everything is just kind of how he is. Sort of the kind of a B.A. Baracus. I'm completely blanking. Oh, there's one actor. His face, he's got a wonderful name. He was the big black dude in Running Man, and he played one of the villains in one of the James Bonds. I'm complete. He's got this really amazing name, and I'm not remembering it for some reason.
I'm not sure.
If you saw him, you'd be like, "Oh, that dude." Anyways, that kind of that, you know, ton of character in his face, just awesome, big dude too. Anywho, I think that'll probably do it for today. Oh, hey, Brendan, how you doing? I'm gonna. Oh, wait, I almost forgot something. I almost forgot something. As I clean this beautiful beast off, I back out, and guess what's happening today? That's right, Chef Hatchet and Miho from Girls und Panzer. This, I am certain, is illegal in multiple states in the South. Up until probably very recently, maybe even still today. Yep. Nothing against the South, but really, guys. So, anywho, I mean, let's pretend that she's not like 14 or whatever, and he's not like 47 or whatever. Let's ignore that. Let's look instead into the beauty of the interracial relationship happening here. We've got Japanese, we've got classical African American going on here. Really, these two together, what a gorgeous couple. Gotta go in there in 3, 2, 1. There we go. There we are, right there. And those two shall now live forever in my sketchbook. Oh. locking lips. Okay. That's I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. I'm not sure we should be thinking about any of the Girls und Panzer characters being on Total Drama Island. I take that back. I'm now thinking of many of the Girls und Panzer characters on Total Drama Island. And I can't stop. I can't stop. Whew, okay. Everyone have yourself a good week. I will catch you later.